Hello and welcome to Woke Watch. And this week I don't have a woke story from the news, as it were. Rather, I thought together we'd look at a very important aspect of wokeness. Now, we know to be woke means to be offended by everything, even if there is nothing to actually be offended by. And if there is an issue, to blow it out of all proportions for one very important reason. So you can claim to be a victim. And the more of a victim you can claim to be, the more woke points you get, and the worse you can treat everyone else. So this morning when I was on my break at work, I went onto X, formerly Twitter, and downloaded a few video clips, and we'll rank them in a hierarchy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Victimhood Olympics. So we'll begin with a member of Generation Z or Gen Z if you're watching in the New World. That's anyone under the age of 26. And apparently Gen Z are the most anxious generation of all time. In the USA, a staggering 61% of them are on anti-anxiety medication. And I guess they're also the most mollycoddled generation, so most of it isn't their fault, and a lot of young people are absolutely fine. But this is the generation who have been raised with participation awards and designated safe spaces, and being told that their opinion is always valid. So when they leave the education system and enter the real world, some of them can be in for a shock.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh! If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here at, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till, like, 6:15 earliest, and then, like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset. Oh my god. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just like...
First of all, I have some admiration for that young woman because she's under 35 and she isn't living with her parents. But she's from a generation who have never known a time without the internet. She's probably never paid for music in her life, and now she's left education and entered the real world. You can see it's a real shock to the system. But she's doing the 9-to-5 commute, which many people would say is probably the cushiest shift of them all. And the thing that really struck me was where she said she doesn't have time to cook her own dinner. So I'm presuming she's ordering in, paying over the odds for unhealthy food. Whereas if she made her own meals, not only would she be healthier and happier, she would also have more money, with which she could buy a car so she wouldn't need to rely on the sodding train. And I hope I don't sound like I'm trying to participate in Monty Python's Four Yorkshiremen sketch, but when I was 17 years old, the laws which protect younger people did not exist. So at the age of 17, my standard working week was 6 until 6 Monday to Friday and 6 until 12 on Saturday. A 66-hour week plus commute. And to this day, I get up at 4:45 in the morning. What really is she complaining about? But as I say, I don't really think it's her fault. So up next, we've got one of the people who use unusual pronouns.
Happy Pride Month! Let's talk about my pronouns. So I use ze, them, zir pronouns. These are a singular pronoun, so you conjugate it the same way you would with he or she. So, Z has green and purple hair. I like zir makeup. And I think that cool vest belongs to them. So that's how you use my pronouns. Let me know if you guys use neopronouns, because I think they're very cool, and I like hearing all the variations of them.
I'll start with the elephant in the room. What the fuck does that man think he looks like? That is not someone in control of his own faculties. And although he doesn't come across as a victim per se, the neopronoun thing, the zim, the zers, or whatever the fuck else they are, these are people who feel they're too special. They can't use the same pronouns as everyone else because they don't quite fit in. I'm not part of normal society. Help me. I'm a victim. But so far it's been quite light. Let's go into third gear with non-binary.
cis privilege is not having to be misgendered every 5 seconds and having to out yourself every 5 seconds every single time you go out in public. Y'all don't know how lucky you are.
Yes, cis privilege. Everyone else has more privilege than the poor non-binary person who doesn't feel comfortable in they-them skin, even though that's pretty much universal for the human condition. Feeling a victim because you identify as non-binary is entirely self-inflicted, because we all know that was a woman. Maybe that person is so deluded or narcissistic that she or they really does feel like a victim, like the other 99 point whatever % of society has got it better than them. But not fitting in, isn't that a universal part of the human condition? We all feel like that at some point in our lives. The difference is the non-binary crowd, not only do they demand we use their pronouns, but won't afford the same thing to the rest of society because I object to being called cisgendered, I'm just male. But they need it on the internet. They need everyone to see what a victim they are. I'm not male or female. I'm both and neither. In fact, today I identify as a soy latte and a vegan sausage roll. But this is the Victimhood Olympics, so we all know what's coming up. It's a trans woman.
So I used to feel like I was lucky for getting my period symptoms because they made me feel more like a woman. Until tonight, where my body decided to feel like a troop of goblins was trying to tear into my stomach and scoop out my insides with sharpened rusty spoons. I'm not lucky.
So that gentleman is experiencing what he perceives to be period pains. Sir, you are not experiencing period pains. You do not have a uterus, nor will you ever have a uterus. You are not experiencing the menstrual cycle. You are an attention-seeking half-wit who for some reason thinks that he's actually experiencing a period. Now, if he's on HRT, that can cause stomach cramps, but that's all that is. He's showing us his pain and suffering. He knows what it's like to be a woman. Is anyone else thinking, shut your mouth, you fucking moron? I've never seen a woman do that. Record a video going through the pain they're feeling from the time of the month in vivid and lurid detail. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I honestly believe that most trans women know less about actual women than the average man in the street. But if you're watching this video, seeing there's still a few minutes to go, and you're thinking, well, that was a trans woman, what can possibly be more woke and victimised than a trans woman? Well, an insensitive trans woman taking advantage of current world events to try and paint themselves as more of a victim. And at this point, I will put in a warning. What follows is someone discussing the current war going on in the Middle East, which if you watch my channel regularly, you'll know I've gone nowhere fucking near. However, if you're watching this in the future and you're wondering who were Hamas, Hamas were a terrorist organisation who didn't get the memo, you don't fuck with the Israelis.
I literally had to evacuate my place 6 months ago because people were so violent and sending me death threats, literally hunting me down for being trans. This is in the United States of America. The United States of America for trans people is in stage 7 and 8. Palestine is in 9 and 10. There is a reason why the United States was the only country who vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution. There is a reason why our government is so adamant about saying level the place. There is a reason why this country continues to ignore what's happening in Palestine, because our country is built on genocide. And by the way, Hitler, he also attacked queer people. There's a reason why we were forced to wear pink triangles. And also, he literally got his ideas for concentration camps from the United States of America. History is repeating itself right now, and how dare you try to weaponize my queerness in order to manipulate me to support genocide. I will never stand by Israel's actions. I won't stand by Israel in general. And if you're queer and you are standing with Israel, you're wrong, and you really need to take a step back and evaluate your morals and values.
To me, that person is truly fucking vile. Trying to equate being queer with what's going on in the Middle East. Now, that person is using the term genocide to apply to the situation in Gaza. Now, I'm not putting in my own politics here. However, I don't believe it's a genocide if Israel wanted to wipe out everyone in Gaza, they could do so extremely bloody quickly. So the notion that the trans community in America is at stage 7 of a genocide is entirely fabricated. It's made up. No genocide is taking place. All that's happening is that reasonable people are saying, first of all, don't push it on kids, stop forcing it down everyone's throat 24/7, and would you mind staying out of women's changing rooms and women's sports? That's all it is. The argument that America is built on genocide, sadly, the entire fucking world's history is built on genocide. We're very good at killing people who don't look exactly like us. But that trans individual is incorrect in saying that the Germans, or rather the Nazis, got the idea for the concentration camps from America. They didn't, they got it from the British. So that was the Victimhood Olympics. But now, finally, we'll see what a real victim looks like. Look at the father at this gender reveal. The pain on that man's face, and having to high-five his wife, who I guarantee is the only person who wears trousers in that family. I'd also bet a significant amount of money that when their son picked up a Barbie doll completely innocently at a young age, the wife decided there and then, yes, our son is trans. And maybe their son is trans. Maybe their son wants to be their daughter. Or maybe the mother wafts around all the other parents, lording it over everyone, demonstrating how fucking progressive she is. If you made it to the end of the video, well done. You have no idea how much editing this is going to take. But as ever, thanks for watching. This week on whether I fucked that one up already. Hello and welcome to... let's go non-binary. Did you know in Spanish, the word non-binary can be gendered to male or female? So I have some... Oh, fuck. Too far. Fuck the continuity. I have some sympathy with that young woman, as we'll see at this gender reveal party. Have more money, and then she could buy a car. Although being Gen Z, she'd probably want one of those electric ones that are shit for the environment and explode all the time. Fucking wanky shit, fuck. Or fucking switch off.